Hi, I'm Laura Flanders of The Laura Flanders Show. I end every week with a commentary. I call it the F word. Here's this week's. Not far into Super Bowl 2018, in one of the mid-show ads, there it was, the unmistakable voice of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., pitching for trucks by Ram. Outrageous, what next, muttered the critics on Twitter. Rosa Parks shilling for Uber, James Baldwin hawking Firestone. What really got my goat, forgive the pun, was the fact that the sermon being quoted was actually all about the dangers of extreme materialism and greed, and huckster leaders who divide and distract people from what's really going on, in no small part by selling them things they can't afford and don't need. Delivered 50 years ago to the day of the game, Dr. King warned of people, quote, taken in by advertisers. And boy, are we taken in today. While the money media is obsessed with the stock market this week, in the real market, people are in trouble. There, household debt has hit a record high, just under $13 trillion. And the sort of debt that really stands out are auto loans. The New York Fed estimates that 23 million consumers hold subprime auto loans because of bad credit. Like subprime mortgages, subprime auto loans aren't made by traditional banks or credit unions, but by auto finance companies and car dealers, in other words, hucksters. The default rate stands at 20%, or 1 in 5. Read Dr. King's drum major sermon in full, and his message is clear. Don't be taken in by advertisers. Don't get driven into greed and division and hate and bankruptcy. But his bigger point is about materialism, one of the triple evils he was calling out throughout his final year. There's something spiritually wrong, he said, with a society that prizes things over people and spends hand over fist on wars when families are in need. Whatever is happening on Wall Street, I think King would be warning that it's a distraction from real people in real trouble. Exactly the same sort of trouble Americans were in the year of the last financial crash. In fact, according to the New York Fed, Americans are in more debt now, $280 billion more, than they were at the peak of 2008. I don't know, but I suspect that even more than anything having to do with the Super Bowl, that is what is really going on. Write to me, tell me what you think. That's Laura, Laura, at lauraflanders.com, and subscribe to get another F word next week.